Hi everyone, Anthony here from Level Up Your Teaching. Today we're going to look at a new video game which is called Influent, and it helps you learn a new language. Now, over the years I had loads of students coming to me and asking me, Anthony, how can I improve my English? Now, those students were really into video games, and unfortunately I didn't really have something to suggest them. Influent, though, is a video game that focuses on language learning and specifically on vocabulary learning. This happens through exploration of your surrounding area. Influent comes with 20 available languages, 3 of which are free: Italian, Japanese, and Korean. Unfortunately, English is one of the premium languages, and is the language that we're going to test in this video review. So for this video, we're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm really eager to show you the video game, so we're going to start with some game footage. And at the same time, I'm going to comment on the game, the pedagogy behind it, and of course, how to play the game. So sit back and relax me playing and commentating on the game. The moment you start the game, you have 4 different options. Play game is what we're going to choose now. Here you'll see I have 3 different saves. I'll click New Game to start with a new one. If you've bought a different language, this is where it's going to appear. I've only got English, so I'm going to click Begin. Language exists everywhere, and Influent is taking advantage of this and urges you to explore through our character, his flat, and to discover tons of new vocabulary. The moment you start the game, you will follow a short but very important tutorial which helps understand the main game mechanics. I tried to play the game without following the tutorial, and to be honest with you, I was a bit lost. So I'll take you through the tutorial quickly, and I urge you to give it a go when you decide to start playing the game too. By clicking W, A, S, and D, you can move your character around. Now the next thing we'll do is move our camera. By left-clicking everywhere and moving your mouse, you can explore your surroundings. The next thing is the FPS mode, which means first person. By clicking Tab, you can see everything through the eyes of the character. Moving on to interacting and opening different objects. By right-clicking, as you can see, you can open the wardrobe. And similarly, moving to the mobile phone, if you right-click, you interact with it. Now, the next thing we're going to see is how to find the words. By left-clicking on an object, you can see that at the bottom there is a word appearing. This is the word that corresponds to the object that you click. By clicking space or by clicking on the word at the bottom, you activate the study set and you add the word to your list. As you can see, when you double click on an object, it shows up a new window with some extra information on the word, including the phonemic script and also the ability to listen to the word again, a picture of the object on the right corner, and also the ability to unlock things we're going to unlock later. So now the game is asking us to create a study set of 10 different items. And as you can see here, we're clicking on different objects, and by pressing spacebar, we're adding them to our list. And here you can see that we managed to get our first 10 words. This is an example of a study set. By clicking Time Attack, we are going to start playing the game. Let's click Continue. And as you can see, now on the bottom we are being prompted with the words. By clicking on each object that corresponds to the word, we are getting the correct points. We got a score of 100% because we found all 10 words. As you can see, we got a no, which means that we managed to win this game. Now, another thing that you can do with your character is to crouch. And as you can see here, if you crouch, there is the option to see some hidden objects. Here we get some slippers which are hidden under the bed and some underwear as well. So those objects are only visible when you crouch. The next thing that we can do with our character is to access child objects. By clicking Control, you can now select items within an item, like the bed frame and the pillow or the mattress. Finally, another thing that we can do, every time we win a game, we get some points. We can use these points to get new adjectives or verbs within the game, which are associated to the noun that we've got. The other thing that is quite useful too is the ability to find other hidden objects or child objects through the first person mode. Now, this is called the magnifying glass icon. If you can see, when I'm moving towards over here, the board, on the bottom left corner, there is a magnifying glass appearing. That means that there is an item to which I can focus, which is a child object. It's the same with a bed. Finally, another thing that you can do with your list is to move the words around. Some people would like to have words based on the topic. So by clicking Control and moving the words around, you can actually create different study sets based on the words that you want. Here, for example, I'm taking the word door and I'm moving it to the previous study set. Now the game is urging us to keep exploring the surroundings and find 50 words and then add them to our study set. While you see this, I'm going to talk you through about the pedagogy, the theory about the game, and of course my opinion. Now, first of all, one thing that I would have liked to be different in this game is our ability to practice the target language. There are two games that you're going to see. One of them, you've already actually seen it, is a time attack where we choose the words that we've been prompted with. And another one is a game with a plane where we have to shoot the words that we're being prompted again. Now, this is a fun game, but that's pretty much it. So what I'm saying here is that I would like some simple exercises to help me practice the target language. That could be a gap-filling exercise or a simple dictation activity where we get the students to actually write something. One more thing that I would have wanted to be a bit different is the fact that the words are not in context. Of course, the words can be seen, can be interacted with, but we can't see them in sentences, and this is very important. I don't want to downplay the effectiveness of spatial memory. However, can it on its own facilitate language learning? That is my concern. And for the last few years, we've actually been following a multimodal approach to language learning. Some people are kinesthetic, which means that they learn better when learning involves an action or a movement. Some others are visual, that they learn better with images. Some are auditory for sounds, and some are spatial for space. So people are learning differently. And what we're trying to do in our language classes is to bring all those different elements together. Now, for this reason, I think that the words should appear in different ways within the game and not in isolation. Isolated words are important, but they cannot facilitate speaking. And I think at this basic level, some simple sentences with the vocabulary should be implemented. Now, talking about the games are actually quite fun, but of course there is a novelty effect with all those things, and I'm not sure how long they will stay interesting. Now, I can see this game being very useful for a number of people who choose to immigrate to countries of which they don't know the language at all. And to be honest with you, I've actually met some people like this and who really struggled doing the basics and eventually found it unbearably hard to assimilate and left the country. So talking about the target audience of this game, I can see people who immigrate to the UK or to the United States or in general to an English-speaking country, and not even that, even to another country, because with English being the lingua franca, we can use it everywhere in the world. So particularly for this type of people, I can see this game being really useful. Having said that though, if you're motivated and you enjoy playing games, there is value in this game. And everyone is going to enjoy it. That's what I mean. The fact that it lets you create study sets and replay them and gradually learn them, it's very important. The environment is familiar to all of us, so we can draw connections between the game and our real life, which is what the spatial memory actually does here. Now, on to what I believe are the positives of this game. The game does give you some context. For every word, there is an adjective and an adverb, or a verb that is related to the noun that you found. The fact that you unlock these words by doing well in other activities adds value to the learning, and to me it makes it more memorable. Another thing that I loved was the use of the phonetic alphabet. I think it is the phonemic alphabet, and I'm saying that I think because some of the symbols that I saw don't really exist, but at the same time it doesn't really look like the International Phonetic Alphabet. In any case though, it's an amazing feature which can help learners a lot. Also, the fact that they can hear the words and replay the audio at will is important for students to have a model of the correct pronunciation, which can also imitate and so practice. The matching game is fun, and to be honest with you, I got so angry at some point when I was practicing Italian and I couldn't get the 3 stars. That means that there is replayability. And that is good, but I'm not sure how long it will last though. I hope, though, to the point when the students learn the vocabulary. Changing the difficulty of the games by selecting what kind of information you want to receive is also quite useful. I think actually the most useful is the listening task, if we could call it like that, where you just listen to the word and you have to match it. So nothing else can be seen, only the sound of the word. And that's actually really important if you want to practice that British, that American pronunciation. So that is true for many students who struggle to understand native speakers. Now, I wonder how much more value would be added if there were sentences spoken instead of isolated words. Something like the books on the desk. The students will still have to click on the books, but unconsciously they're also listening for specific information, getting exposed to short forms, intonation patterns, weak forms, and so on. Also, the to-do list is a nice way to help learners set some goals, but it still looks a bit simple, and I'm sure the team is working to make this feature a bit more sophisticated. Overall, this is what I want to say about the game. So let's get back now to share with you some of my final thoughts about the game. From a technical point of view, and as a gamer, this is a very well-made video game. On the other hand though, as a teacher and from an educational point of view, I believe there are still some things missing. For example, I always felt that I need to do more with the language. In other words, I wanted to practice more. Whether it was a gap fill or a dictation activity, I needed that extra exposure, and I wanted the words to be in context so that I have more examples of the target language. Now, of course, these things are easy to implement. The most difficult part for me has already been done, which is to create the game. Of course, if the developers are looking to redefine language learning applications, there's still a lot of work to be done. But right now, in its current state, I believe that this video game can actually help a lot of language learners out there. And it has actually helped me with my Italian. So as a gamer and a teacher, I give this game a big thumbs up and I'm really glad it exists. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let me know if you have any other ideas for our future videos. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.